Mothman, according to Wikipedia.org. In West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a creature repeatedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 12, 1966 to December 5, 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register dated November 6, 1966, titled Couples See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something. The national press soon picked up the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. The Mothman was later introduced to a wider audience by Gary Barker in 1970, and later popularized by John Keel in his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies, claiming that there are supernatural events related to the sightings and a connection to the collapse of the Silver Bridge. The Mothman appears in popular culture. The 2012 film, The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere, was based on Keel's book. An annual festival in Point Pleasant is dedicated to the Mothman legend. Subsection 1. History. On November 12, 1966, 5 men who were digging a grave at a cemetery near Clendenin, West Virginia, claimed to see a man-like figure fly over the trees over their heads. This is often identified as the first known sighting of what became the Mothman. Shortly thereafter, on November 15, 1966, 2 young couples from Point Pleasant, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette, told police they saw a large gray creature whose eyes glowed red when the car's headlights picks it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings. Following their car while they were driving in the area and outside of what is known as TNT area, the site of a former World War II munitions plant. During the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. 2 volunteer firemen said it was a large bird with red eyes. Mason County Sheriff George Johnson commented that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large heron he deemed a shite poke. Contractor Newell Partridge told Johnson that when he aimed a flashlight at a creature in a nearby field, its eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors, and blamed buzzing noises from his television set and disappearance of his German Shepherd dog on the creature. Wildlife biologist Dr. Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters that descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as high as a man with a 7-foot wingspan featuring circles of reddish coloring around the eyes, and that the bird may have wandered out of its migration route. This particular crane was unrecognized at first because it was not native to this region. After the December 15, 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of the 46 people, the incident gave rise to the legend and connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse. According to Georgian newspaper Svobodnaya Gruzia, Russian UFOologists claim that Mothman sightings in Moscow foreshadowed the 1999 Russian apartment bombings. In 2016, WCHS-TV published a photo purported to be of Mothman taken by an anonymous man by driving on Route 2. Science writer Sharon A. Hill proposed that the photo showed a bird, perhaps an owl, carrying a frog or snake away, and wrote that there is zero reason to suspect that the Mothman is as described in legend. There are far too many more reasonable explanations. Subsection 2. Analysis. Skipping Subsection 2. Analysis. Subsection 3. Festivals and Culture. Point Pleasant held its first annual Mothman Festival in 2002 and created a 12-foot metallic statue of this sculpture. Created by artist and sculptor Bob Roach, was unveiled in 2003. The Mothman Museum and Research Center opened in 2005 and is run by Jeff Wamsley. The festival is a weekend-long event held on the 3rd weekend of every September. There are a variety of events that go on, such as guest speakers, vendor exhibit, a Mothman pancake eating contest, and hayride tours focusing on the notable area of Point Pleasant. Subsection 4. In popular culture. The Mothman Prophecies 2002, loosely based on a 1975 book of the same name by John Keel. Mothman 2010, a sci-fi original movie. Mothman was the focus of a segment on unsolved mysteries, originally aired July 29, 2002. The Mothman is the subject of the Blitz Kids song Genus Unknown. In episode 2 of the short-lived TV series X-Testers, the researchers attempted to duplicate alleged photos of the Mothman. In the video game Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, Mothman is one of the 3 cryptozoology-based monsters along with the Yeti and the Flying Humanoid. It appears again as an enemy in Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. Mothman is a recurring demon in the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona franchises. In the French novel Les Yeux de l'Épouvante, The Eyes of the Terror, written by Jimmy Guillou in 1977 and published at Editions Fleuve Noir, the Mothman appears in France, in Var, near the Melmont. The title of the novel is a reference to Mothman's red eyes. The Mothman was also in a Weird or What episode hosted by William Shatner that originally aired on September 26, 2011. In Season 1, Episode 5 of Mountain Monsters, the crew of expert hunters and traps attempt to capture the Mothman of Mason County, West Virginia. In Season 4, Episode 1 of the BuzzFeed Presents series, BuzzFeed Unsolved, BuzzFeed employees Ryan Bergera and Shane Madej travel to Point Pleasant to try and encounter the Mothman. In Season 4, Episode 5 of Monster Quest in 2010. Mothman is featured in the post-apocalyptic game Fallout 76, which takes place in a post-apocalyptic West Virginia. In 2018, Mothman was introduced as a vinyl figure in Cryptozoic's Entertainment Cryptkins blind box toy line. A musical entitled Mothman the Herald of Doom, written by Trezel Diegnaltz and proposed by Hannah Sotner and Robin Gibson, premiered at the Evergreen State College on May 10, 2018 and ran until May 12, 2018. The musical centered on a reporter for the New York Times arriving in, again, Point Pleasant to investigate sightings of the Mothman. And an outcast teenage girl encounters with the Mothman. The popular real play RPG podcast, The Adventure Zone, features Mothman as a side character in his amnesty campaign set in West Virginia. Books. Barker Gray, The Silver Bridge, Caesarean Books, 1970. Coleman Elm, Mothman and Other Curious Encounters. Colvin Andrew, The Mothman's Photographer, the work of an artist touched by the prophecy of the infamous Mothman. Colvin Andrew again, The Mothman's Photographer 2, meetings with remarkable witnesses touched by paranormal phenomena, UFOs, and the prophecies of West Virginia's infamous Mothman. Myers, Rao, and Macklin, The Little Giant Book of True Ghost Stories. Sergeant Jr., Donnie. Mothman, The Facts Behind the Legend. Fear, Brad, A Macabre Myth of a Mothman. Keel John A., The Mothman Prophecies. Keel John A., The Eighth Tower. Myers Bill, Angel of Wrath, a novel. Wrestle Steve, Perverted Communion. Bullard Stephen et al. The Silver Bridge Disaster of 1967. Wood, Jen A., Point Pleasant. Schmidt, W.L., Threads of Faithfulness. Section 5, see also, Apparitional Experience, Flatwoods Monster, Mothra, Oilman, Popobawa, and Spring-Heeled Jack. Mothman, according to Wikipedia.org.